Welcome to Aftermath Digital TV, everyone. We've got our wins ready for you guys. And Anthony, you're starting us off. Go ahead.
My win is simply the Thunderdome. What a large-scale task project that is to put all those monitors and the depth. I just can't imagine the technology, the infrastructure required to have all those people connected and having them put there. And even when Drew McIntyre just kind of showed that it's not just, it's actually live. And he said, give me a thumbs up. And you saw there was different speeds, but everyone got their thumbs up pretty quick. So it's a live audience. It's insane. I think that they just created something that's going to be used by other industries. And who knows if there's a second wave or another pandemic and all that stuff, it's here to stay. It was just an absolute brilliant accomplishment.
I think the WWE has done a really good job during this global pandemic of trying to figure out ways to keep us entertained. I know as human beings, we've talked about this before on Aftermath TV, we don't like change. We don't like seeing new ways of doing things. But starting out with WrestleMania 36, we were introduced to, a couple really amazing matches that were done a little differently. And I think that now with Thunderdome, it gives us another type of experience in this global pandemic where we could feel a little bit more connected. And like you said, Anthony, with the technology, with the creative behind it, they did an excellent job of trying to make us feel like we're there. And I'm sure the superstars probably really appreciated that too from a different kind of lens.
Sorry, go.
No, I totally agree with that. I think it looks fantastic. I think it's different. It is a struggle trying to, like we've said before, the whole industry of professional wrestling is based off instant feedback from your audience. And without having that audience there during this pandemic, it's been a challenge for everybody. They've adapted well, but like WWE always does, like we saw a little bit from the NBA, we saw a little bit from baseball, we saw a little bit. They took a little bit from everything, put it all together, and made it look spectacular. Again, in my opinion, I think it looks fantastic. I think you can tell from the talent themselves when they come out to the ring, they're enjoying actually having faces to look at other than people that they train with at the performance center or something like that. It looks great. And as someone who I used to work with a long time ago used to say, perception is reality, and when it looks big time, it is big time.
Kind of looks like a giant game of Guess Who, or
the wall,
or like the opening of the Muppet Show, where they're all in their little arches. I love it. It's really interesting. I love that Drew gave the thumbs up. What I'm missing though from that is the organic crowd noise, and I kind of wish they still had the trainees from NXT, but on camera side, so that they were providing sound of live people and weren't necessarily on camera all the time.
Now, I wonder, maybe they noticed that too, and that's something they add in the next pay-per-view or time they decide to, have Thunderdome. I wonder if that's like a lessons learned for them. I guess we'll see, right? But no, that's a great point too. I agree.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I didn't know if the audio that we were hearing was the people. It could be an accumulation of sound with that many people. I would like to see some logistics in terms of how many people they had there, and how they must have given them login instructions.
Yeah, everybody gets their own code and their own. There's only a limited amount of people. Like some of the pictures are repeated because you don't just want to be in the bottom corner and not really on camera, so they'll switch them all around. But there's a login code, and if you do anything untoward, you're booted.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you can kind of take them out of the equation during spectacular entrances, like we saw with the Fiend on the weekend and stuff like that. You don't need to see the facial reactions. No. Let the entrance be the story.
And just the sheer size of the Amway Center really made it feel like it was kind of like the old days again. Instead of the Performance Center has been great, but it's a significantly smaller venue, and this was massive. And the light show, the entire presentation of SummerSlam was just, I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. From someone that's been in SummerSlam, this was incredible.
Nag, your win.
My win comes from NXT TakeOver. We always talk about guys going over and guys getting over. And yes, Damian Priest won the North American Championship, but for my money, nobody got more over than Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed came out in Bam Bam Bigelow inspired gear. I was already in heaven. He should have won the match based on his gear alone. And then in that match, Bronson Reed flew. He beat people up. He was someone to be reckoned with, and then went to the top of the ladder with Candice LeRae on his back and gave a giant splash to Johnny Gargano. MVP of the entire show for me, Bronson Reed. Huge fan.
I met him down at the Performance Center, and he might not be the guy that they're saying this is the guy, but he's slowly creeping along and really getting over with the WWE Universe. He has that thing, his personality. He's likable. He's also tough, and you can get behind him. He's not the tallest guy, but he's a really solid guy, and big things. I mean, it seems like he's blazing his own trail.
Yeah, especially in a match like that, because we've seen so many ladder matches over the years. They tend to be a little bit of car crashes a lot of times, but it's tough to be innovative and creative and different because, you know, like I said, there's been so many ladder matches. Oh, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. There were some cool, different, interesting elements thrown into this. And as far as him elevating, like you said, Anthony, being that guy, not everybody has to be that guy. There's a role for everybody to play, whether you're the guy who gets people interested at the beginning of the card, whether you're upper mid card, whether, you know, there's a spot for everybody. I mean, obviously you want to strive to be the guy, but hey, as long as you're cool and successful and people like you and are interested in you and invested in you.
And don't forget making that money.
Make it rain.
Jimmy, your win. I knew this is what you were going to pick, so just tell us about it. Everything you're thinking.
You know what? I wanted my win to be something different because I've been touting Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for weeks now. I've been talking about how Randy Orton's been like on fire. Drew McIntyre has elevated his game. Going into SummerSlam, my expectations were high for this match. And I thought, you know, I hope I enjoy it as much because my expectations were so high. They surpassed my expectations. These guys had a tremendous match that was, I don't want to use the term old school because what it was classic, instant classic storytelling, psychology. Everything made sense. These guys went all out and just delivered. I mean, Randy was supposedly had the greatest wrestling match ever with Edge. I would challenge that. I wouldn't say ever, but this is definitely my pick for match of the year so far.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. There wasn't a wasted step. Everything meant something. It was setting up something. And the finish, a backslide. If you haven't watched it, I'm sorry. But yeah, a classic pinning maneuver, like amazing.
Can you believe that a wrestling match was won with a wrestling move? Can you imagine that the greatest wrestling match of all time, the winner of that was Randy Orton, where he said he's the greatest wrestler and he got beat with a wrestling move? It's the best story.
If you look at Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat WrestleMania 3, which is one of the best matches in history, small package victory, small package roll up, and sorry, not small package. Yeah, small package. Sorry.
It's fantastic. You can catch a guy. And you know, if you're into like, I'm gonna hit him with my RKO, oops, you're done.
I think part of the problem is a lot of the wrestling fans are programmed. We've seen so many big moves done for no reason whatsoever, other than, hey, look, I can do this. I can do a twisting, burning 450 hammer Phoenix splash. That absolutely means nothing because it doesn't beat any.
I've seen it.
And it doesn't beat anybody. So, you know, kudos to those guys, man. They really pulled it off.
Jimmy, do you think anyone will top that match for you, or you think that that'll stay match of the year?
Well, we're kind of creeping up to the end of the year, but I've always got my hopes up that somebody will surpass that. You got to have your hopes up. It's going to be tough, though. It will be tough. Yeah.
Okay, my win is celebrating the legend that is Renee Young. I'm sad that she's leaving WWE. I know that we all are here on Aftermath TV and the universe and even superstars. You know, she's made such an incredible impact on the company, on women. She is a trailblazer. She paved the road. She has so many unbelievable accomplishments, not only as an employee of WWE, but honestly as a woman in the industry. And beyond everything, she's just so nice and genuine and funny. She's someone that you want to talk to. So as much as I'm sad to hear the announcement that she's leaving, in the same breath, I just want to celebrate her and her achievements. And also, like, I really can't wait to see what's next for her, because we all know no matter what this woman does, she's going to be amazing at it. So yeah. I'm really excited to see what comes next for her. And I just wanted to give her a little Aftermath TV shout out, because she deserves it.
Yeah, she's one of us, man. She came from here. She's the OG. And also, just as a Canadian, you know, everyone talks about, you know, Jericho and the Hart family. Renee Young, when you look at the impact she's made in the professional wrestling business as a Canadian, is one of the most significant and substantial impacts ever. It's incredible. She's so smart, and she's just so fun to be around. And she was the total package. And when she got there, and I heard she got hired, I'm like, she's going to blow these people away and win them over. And she went and just did it effortlessly. And if you look online, so she obviously is someone that you feel like, you know, I even text her from time to time, and we always go back and forth with some jokes, and she just makes you feel like you are one of her friends, and she makes everyone feel like you're one of her close friends. The comments, you know, the farewells were just, I read a lot of them, because everyone's talking about so many great memories they've had with her backstage. They'll never forget it. And I mean, you know, Booker T and John Layfield and Triple H and Stephanie, they all take the time to just thank her. And I'm excited to see what she's going to do next, because it's going to be fun to watch her career. And you feel like you're an associate. I think, hope she doesn't want to come back here and take all our jobs, because she could do all our jobs by herself.
Definitely. You know, as someone who got to work with her, and I know for a fact, you know, you could attest to this, Anthony, in the wrestling industry, regardless of how nice you are to everybody, there's always someone there that has a problem with you somewhere for some stupid reason, whether it's made up or not. Nobody has any problems with Renee. She is universally liked. And when I say universally liked, I mean like across the board, that's 100%. There is nobody that dislikes her. And seeing her progress from the old days of the origins of Aftermath and progressing through and moving to WWE. And like you, Anthony, when she got hired by WWE, I said, oh, they're going to wait, this is going to be really, really good. And watching her host all these different shows and just basically taking over.
She was like, she took over. She was the whole thing.
Yeah.
When she left, on her way out of Aftermath, she recommended me for the gig. So I have to thank Renee for this. Also, I was talking to her this week. She's made a cookbook. I mean, she can do anything she wants. Yeah. I also like that, you know, for the last few years, she's worked at a place where if you wanted to do something, you had to ask Dad for permission. Now she could do whatever she wants. And I 100% believe the first thing she's going to do is chill out for a few months, just not do anything. And I highly recommend it. I don't know if she's going to continue to work in wrestling, but she could go work at Entertainment Tonight. She could go work at ESPN. Anywhere. She could go work anywhere she wants. Whoever gets her is going to enjoy her.
I remember her first day, literally. Was it Boston? I think it was Boston.
Food Network.
And she walked in and she didn't know anybody. And all of a sudden, I knew who she was, because she's from here. And, you know, that's kind of when my neck was getting bad. So I was kind of on the way out a little bit, and I was taking time off. So I didn't get as much Renee time in the WWE as I would like. But when we went back for the Raw reunion there, we just caught up and we closed down the bar, and we had a great time just talking about life. And she's such a pleasure to be around. And
we can't ever forget the day that she came on Aftermath TV and we all got stuck in the elevator.
Oh, that's right.
Forever bonded by a busted elevator.
You know what? There's kismet somewhere.
She texted me. She still has nightmares, she said.
That was the funniest day, I think, of my life at Sportsnet. Yeah. It was so good. All right, Aftermath TV fans, let us know what your wins from the week were, and tweet us, because we like to hear from you using the hashtag AskAftermath. All right, everyone, bye. And check out our fails. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Renee.